final jewel of the Triple Crown is almost upon us. Belmont Stakes coming up this Saturday, part of a tremendous Belmont Stakes racing festival. It's the third jewel of the Triple Crown. Can War of Will, the only one to compete in all three, win two legs of this Triple Crown? Well, we'll find out pretty soon. And you want to play this on Naira Bets. You want to play everything on Naira Bets. You want to participate in a special bonus for this year's Belmont. We have our usual $200 bet 200, get 200 sign up. But we've got a special $25 money back in addition. You bet a horse to win, and your horse finishes second or third, you'll get your money back. I guess you text bet to 8925 to get started. More information to follow. The field for the Belmont Stakes, the 151st Belmont Stakes, a field of 10, and the two favorites drawn towards the outside. But we'll start with War of Will, and we'll take a look at the Preakness, and we'll look at War of Will coming through on the inside. Just a sensational ride by Tyler Gaffalione, who's really starting to emerge as a future star in this game. And Mark Cassie's had this horse in great condition. He had that obvious trouble in the Kentucky Derby, and he showed that he really could have been a bigger factor if he hadn't been bothered. He got the job done. The long shot Everfast came up the inside, and there's some saying the inside was the place to be. I don't know that that's the case. Maybe it was in the stretch, but Everfast, the long shot, got second. Both of them will come back and play. I have not given War of Will the respect he deserves in this Triple Crown chase, and he has shown me to be wrong on a couple of occasions. And he may show me to be wrong again. I picked him third in this race. We'll get my picks a little bit later. He's dangerous, but I don't think he's as dangerous as Tacitus. And we'll take a look at Tacitus beating Tax, who's back to play as well in this race for trainer Danny Gargan. And we'll see Tacitus winning the Wood Memorial back in early April at Aqueduct. And I'm a Tacitus fan, and you know, this is a horse that's shown he can overcome some trouble, as he did in the Wood Memorial. He flicks it off like it's nothing. He's really had gotten better with every race, and even his Derby was actually a very good effort. Thought he kind of got shuffled out in the early running and ended up farther back and, 15th or 16th early in the running of the race. And he's a horse that has the tactical speed to put himself into more contention. And I thought it cost him his best chance in the race, and still he finished fourth, beaten just over 3 lengths, and he also was placed third. I think Tacitus is going to take a world of beating this race. I know he's not going to be a big price, but I think he is way the horse to beat. And Tax isn't the worst long shot. He did not run bad. He ran well leading the Derby. He took no money in the Derby. It's amazing that Tacitus was 5-1, and he was 35-1, considering how close he finished in the Wood. I think on a fast track, back home in New York, Tack's going to give a better account of himself, and he's a long shot I could consider using in here. Now, a long shot that a lot of people will be interested in is the number 3 Master Fencer, and I just want to focus on him in the stretch run in the Kentucky Derby. He's well in the pack of the pack with Julian Leparoux, and he's searching for a seam. He didn't want to lose ground, and I got to tell you, keep your eye on him. He really is running at the end of the race, and this was a surprisingly good effort for a horse who was nearly 60-1, who did not have particularly special form over Japan, and he ran well in here. And I bet you he runs a decent race in the Belmont. The problem I have is based on this race, he's a bit of a deep closer. And deep closers in the 1.5 mile Belmont do not have a great overall record. But I can't knock the performance he ran in the Kentucky Derby. Did he improve on a wet track? We'll find out, because we have gorgeous weather expected this weekend at Belmont. A welcome change. Let's take a look at the first of 2 runners for Todd Pletcher, and that's Spinoff, who did not run at all in the Derby. He was wide, but he was nowhere in there. But you know what? This race at Fairgrounds, and certainly War of Will has made the race at Fairgrounds this year look very good. This is the Louisiana Derby where War of Will did not run well, but boy, did Spinoff run well. By my standards, might have gotten the win, but Spinoff ran the best race. It was a big improvement for him. He was attending a quick pace in there, and he hung in gamely. The winner came through on the inside. He was stalking on the outside, and he never really gave up at the end. It's not as though he was tired and the winner went by him. Todd Pletcher has an extremely good record in this Belmont Stakes. In the last 12 runnings, he has 3 winners, at least 3 second-place finishers, and it's not like it's Todd Pletcher with a bunch of short-priced horses. He's been running big-priced horses in here, and they have continuously outrun their odds. I don't think you want to leave his horses out, and Spinoff is a long shot that I am interested in using in this race. Now, the other Todd Pletcher runner is Intrepid Heart, and while he had trouble at the start, he stumbled. He did not run well in the Peter Pan. Sir Winston, who's going out for Mark Cassie, of course, has War of Will. He did run well in here. He made a big late run, and he's the kind of horse a lot of people would say, wow, look at him closing at 1 mile and 1/8. And he really did run well in here and I think he got 100 buyers, as a matter of fact, one of the few triple-digit buyers you can find. And he was closing a global campaign. Now, I thought he got a very good trip in here, a very good setup, and the others were sort of gasping. But he ran well. I don't like him, but I can understand why he has some supporters, and maybe he's improving at the right time. We'll see if he likes distance. Intrepid Heart, who's a half to commissioner, at least a half commissioner, who finished second this race behind the mighty Tonalist for Todd Pletcher. I just don't know if he's fast enough. Todd did not want to use the stumble of the stars as an excuse. He's run okay in his races, but he really needs to take a step forward. If you're somebody who believes with his pedigree, a mile and a half is what he wants, maybe he'll take that step forward. While I prefer spin off the two Todd Pletchers, I think you leave Todd's horses out completely at your own peril. I'm glad to see Mark Hennig is going to take a shot with Bourbon War, who did not run well in the Preakness. Now, he was overbet in the Preakness, and you're going to get a much better price. As Mark's going to take the blinkers off. He tried in the Preakness. It didn't work out. He has run some good races. His second place finish, and this is in, I believe, the Fountain of Youth, when he made a nice run, he got a sensational ride from Irad Ortiz. Mike Smith has the mount, but he can't ride him any better than Irad Ortiz rode him in this race, and he got that wicked pace to close into. In a funny way, I actually thought his effort in the Florida Derby next was actually better because he got no pace to run at. He lost some ground, and he finished a reasonable fourth in a paceless race. So I think he's run some okay races, but can he take that step forward, and can he do it the mile and a half? Not on my tickets, but I wish him the best of luck in this race. I like Tacitus. Picking Tacitus on top. Spinoff is my second choice in this race. Third choice, War of Will. And Tax will be my fourth choice. But I think Tacitus is going to prove extremely hard to beat in the 151st Belmont. Whatever you bet in here, bet it through NyraBets. Head on over to NyraBets.com for more information. But right now, we have that 200, bet 200, get 200 bonus. We also have a special $25 money-back Belmont Stakes win bet. If your horse finishes second or third, you'll get that money back. To get more information on this, text BET-BET to 80925. Whatever you do in the Belmont Stakes, best of luck.